Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Won't you come on here and sit down with me, and let's open our Bibles up today. We're going to study Psalm 6, and today verses 5 and 6. So we've been looking at this whole idea of penitence. This is the first penitential psalm. And so the psalmist here is in his prayer closet, and he's praying, and he's asking God to forgive him. And he starts out with, "Don't judge me." He says, "Don't judge me in your anger." And he asks the Lord to be merciful to him. There in verse 2, he says, "Be merciful to me. Have mercy upon me." And then in verse 3, he talked about the soul being vexed, and his bones in verse 2 are vexed. And so there's this physical, spiritual response that's happening to his sin. He feels the dryness. He feels the separation from the Lord. So all of that leads up to now verse 5. In verse 4, he cries out for salvation. And then in verse 5, we're going to see the result. If salvation never came, the result of sin, what it does to the human soul. So let's read verses 5 and 6 here in Psalm 6. "For in death there is no remembrance of thee. In the grave who shall give thee thanks? I am weary with my groaning. All the night make I my bed to swim. I water my couch with tears." So you can see something of the physical response that he's going through, the groaning, the sweats that he's having, the tears that he's crying because of his sinfulness. So his sin has really affected him. I wonder really, when I think of my own confessions, I don't really feel this affected normally because I'm so used to my sin. But here the psalmist, he has taken it on the chin. He really feels it. And so he cries out to the Lord. And you notice the state of the soul without salvation is in death, in the grave. So the place of Sheol awaits. And there's no remembrance. There's no giving of thanks. None of that is happening in the grave. And so he's asking the Lord, don't judge me in your anger and your hot displeasure. I don't want to feel your stroke. Forgive me. Give me mercy. Save me. Because in the grave, there's no thankfulness. So he doesn't want to go to the grave because he knows that's the next step. And then he cries out because of this physical reply that he's having, his groaning. So he's groaning, his bones are vexed, he's making his bed to swim, and I'm sure a lot of us have been there. It's not just tears, but also the body sweats. You lie in bed at night and you're tore up over something, and you're sweating, and the whole bed just seems wet because of the perspiration. And then he says, "I water my couch with my tears." So he's upset and he's crying over his sin. Yes, this man is truly penitent over what's happened to him. So this is a good place for us to be, because we understand that our sin separates us from God. And we understand that the greatest separation is the grave. Once we leave this life, if we've not done anything about salvation, if we've not cried out to Him for mercy, then we're in trouble. And we understand that, and we get the whole thing about the soul being in distress because of sin. So we felt that as well. And maybe that's part of your testimony when you came to Christ. You felt that distress and you cried out. I know as a young 17-year-old boy, I felt that kind of distress over my sinfulness, and I cried out to God for salvation. Maybe that was your testimony too. But that's what we have here in this psalm. It's beautiful, it's personal, it doesn't paint over any of the scars. It lets you know all of it. This is what is going on in his heart. Well, join me again tomorrow. We're going to look at verses 7 and 8 here on Daily Dose Radio.